I wanted to thank you all for tuning in yesterday. We're doing another recipe today, crawfish corn chowder. I'm gonna actually do two, so you'll be getting double the dose of me. They kind of go together. My family loves them together. My daughter Emily, this is one of her favorites, so she's constantly begging for it. And the other recipe that I'll be doing, because I know during the quarantine times, we're all craving things that we want at restaurants. But I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with the Red Lobster garlic cheddar biscuit. I'll be making those because they somehow, it just is amazing. The mesh and how they taste together, they vibe off, you know, with the flavor. They're really good together. They're a good combo. And so these two things I'll be making today. In our recipes, I'm a big believer after looking and growing up with watching many a cooking show. And also, I guess it's just, you know, a genetic thing. I'm from a family, thank goodness, of blessed cooks that taught me amazing dishes. And so I'm hoping to bring some of those into your home with these segments that I'm doing. And anyways, I like to show what ingredients are needed along with spices ahead of time before you see what I'm doing. So then, you know, when you're making your list to go to the grocery or market, you'll have all those things. If this is something that even interests you and your families, and it just makes it so much easier. So I post those ahead of time, and then we go straight to whatever I'm doing. All right, so let's get started cooking. I'm going to show you what you'll need to do this dish. You'll need about 2 pounds crawfish, of course, that's your main, and these are like Louisiana. Granted, they're, you know, prepackaged frozen because we're in Arkansas now, but they usually vacuum seal them. Make sure that, you know, if you can, Louisiana is the way to go. So I can't tell you how much I stress that, you know, Louisiana. You'll also need about a bunch of green onion, 1 1/4 cup of butter. I use unsalted again. I use about a teaspoon of cayenne, tablespoon of garlic powder, and depending on how spicy, I mean, this is usually my go-to, or they have a bold. Also, you'll see in some recipes, I'm gonna use something like a Zattering crab boil maybe. It's gonna depend upon how much spice you like. So, you know, Tony's is a go-to in our family. I like all their products. I pretty much swear by them. I guess this is just from being, you know, in Louisiana for so long. They also make a bold, so it's up to you how spicy you want. Again, I also will be using a Zattering crab boil in recipes, so you know, you control the heat factor. Then you're gonna need a good 2 cups of a half and half cream and a block of cream cheese. I use 2 10.5 cream of potato in this recipe, and then about a family size, which is about 22.5 ounce cream of mushroom, and about a 13-ounce can of whole kernel sweet corn. And you're gonna make sure you drain this. We've kind of prepared this already by taking all the tops off, so we're gonna get started. So let's go to town and get this dish ready. All right, we're gonna be using my Dutch oven. I don't know if any of you have a Dutch oven. A Dutch oven is amazing. I swear by it. This is one of my favorite pots. My dad gave it to me, gifted it, and I'm absolutely in love. This baby is trusty all the time, makes the best dishes. So again, if you don't have a Dutch oven, then you can use like a 7-quart pot and standard pot, and that should do this dish just fine. Okay, we're gonna start by getting your pan nice and hot, and we're gonna throw in 1/4 cup of butter. And to that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to, you know, let it get to a melting point, and we are going to add the bunch of green onion. And we're gonna let this saute. We don't want it brown, and we want it to get to you know, a good consistency, you know, soft like. And once you're done with this, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this to the side so we can make that crawfish. So this is what we're looking for. We want it to get, you know, to that sizzling, kind of like giving it a good saute, like I'd stated. Soften these up some. Don't overcook them, because goodness knows that would be pretty bad. So, like, you know, control your heat, kind of babysit a little, keep stirring. So now we're gonna get ready and transfer this over to a bowl. and we're gonna start the crawfish. All right, we're gonna get ready to do that crawfish. So half a stick of butter. I'm gonna let that melt and get ready to throw into this pot and make some goodness. You should smell the green onion. I tell you, there's nothing like onions and herbs cooking on a stovetop. You need smell-o-vision. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, and this is again 2 pounds of Louisiana prepackaged, unfortunately, crawfish, because when we lived in Louisiana, oh my goodness, that was always available. You're not gonna wanna overcook this because you want it tender, and you don't want it to get too overcooked, because then it's gonna be tough. So you don't wanna leave this in your pot. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna convert it over to another bowl and get started on the soup. All right, you gotta love these soup cans. So I always take a knife, kind of go along the edge, so it needs some help getting out. Let's baby that sucker. We're gonna go on and put the your cream of potato into the pan, and make sure again you're controlling your heat. You hear it sizzling, it's doing its thing. Go on and add the soups first is what I usually do, and then from there I'll add that cream. But I don't want the cream to burn while I'm prepping these soups. You want to give this a good stir. You do all this in the same pot, it's fine. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to add a can of cream of mushroom. Oh, ooh, look at that. All right. Makes a funny noise when it comes out. All right, there we go. So you got your soups in. You want to mix these together really good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to add that block of cream cheese, and that has to get nice and melted in with these soups. Again, babysit this. You know, you don't have to stay on it constant, but you know, you want to control your heat, so you don't want it to burn. And these soups are going to congeal together and make an amazing flavor to get ready for the crawfish and, you know, that green onion and the corn even. But I like to use whole kernel corn when I cook it. I know that's going back to corn, but I like that taste. I think my family does too. Some recipes call for like a cream style corn, but yeah, the whole kernel, it's something about it for texture, and so it makes it really good. And again, this is doing its thing, and we're letting these flavors get all together. Melt this cream cheese. All right, now we're gonna add 2 cups of that half and half. You wanna go ahead and just nicely, slowly, just, you know, bring this in. Again, I like to add this, you know, at the end, because you don't want it in there, of course, too long. You don't want it to burn. And again, watch your heat. My stovetop, I mean, it's pretty, you know, I have a lot of different settings, and so basically, you know, just make sure you're watching it, babysit it. Like a medium high would be good. You got to get these soups to, you know, kind of melt down, and then they're going to do the thing with the cream. We're going to get ready to add our seasonings. So again, it's about a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, about a tablespoon of garlic powder. Another thing I use, you can use garlic powder, you can use fresh garlic. I love garlic, and I love, you know, my family loves garlic. It's really good for you. We like it in a lot of dishes. The minced, if you even do it yourself, is great. Soups, I kind of tend to want to go, for some reason, or stews, even maybe a powder, but you know, it's your preference. I like fresh. I didn't grab fresh, unfortunately, at the market today, and I needed more, but you know, garlic powder works just fine. And about a tablespoon of, like I said, your favorite Cajun seasoning. So we're gonna get all this together. Like I said, my family likes heat, so it's up to you. It's up to your palate, how much you like. This just makes it kind of spicy, which I told you, you know, that's what they love. So now we're gonna go on, and I tend to like to cook the corn. So we're gonna add that 13 ounce of kernel corn. And again, it was drained, so make sure you get all that in there. And let this come together with the cream. And as you can see, it's just making its own wonderful goodness in a pot. Its magic is coming together. And then what we're going to do is let this cook just a little bit. And then now we're going to go on and add that crawfish, yum, 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 in a bowl. And this is all going to just, you know, aroma-wise and everything else mixed together. And oh, goodness, so fabulous. Nothing like it. And it'll turn a color on you. I like to drain that crawfish too, so. And now the final, of course, we add that green onion that we had done, that bunch of green onion that we had sauteed. And so, yes, this is a dish of butter, cream, all those wonderful things. So it's pretty rich, but you know what? If you're gonna make an etouffee or gumbo, be expecting rich. There's no cutting corners on that. We're gonna let this, of course, marinate together, all these wonderful ingredients. And again, like I stated, you know, there's no cutting corners on dishes like these. I will make some other dishes, you know, throughout, as long as I'm posting, and there'll be, you know, some a little less fattening and figure control wise, but for the most part, this one's not one of them. But another thing with the seasonings, just to let y'all know, you can control it. So going back to that again, you can control it. So if you don't like this spicy, then, you know, omit the Tony's or omit like your favorite Cajun seasoning that you choose. Go half on cayenne if you want. But I mean, you know, this it's a Cajun dish, and it's one of those, actually I think it was 2 back in England with the Chowders. Another thing is you can substitute crawfish. If you don't like crawfish, do shrimp. That's the bomb. I've tried it with both. So, you know, it's up to you again. Because a lot of people don't like crawfish, and so be it, you know. And another thing is, down in southern Louisiana, you know, what's so big is the crawfish boils. And so with leftover crawfish and the tails, this is what they tended to do the next day, is either an etouffee or even, you know, a crawfish corn chowder. So heads up on that, but that's kind of like, you know, was a big thing. And I noticed that because I was like, what do you do with all these leftover crawfish if you even have any at a boil? And so that's something that, you know, that you all could do. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna, again, like I state, we're gonna let this marinate, and we're gonna get started. I'm gonna plate this up, and I'm gonna come to you with another dish. So get ready, thanks. All right, let's get started on these Red Lobster Copycat garlic cheddar biscuits. I'm telling you, my family loves these. It's a good go-to. They're great with this, they're great with soups, they're great with anything. So we're gonna get started, and as you can see, we've already added, it's 2 cups of Bisquick, and then about a half a cup of cheese. Cheese to your liking. You know, it calls for cheddar. My husband's not a big cheddar fan, nor my kids. So like a Monterey Jack, just, you know, if you notice, I put it's the orange and white, but we already have that in there. So again, it's 2 cups of Bisquick, half a cup of cheese. And then what we're gonna do is 2/3 cup of milk. And what we're gonna be looking for when stirring these up, we want kind of a clumpy consistency, but a doughy clumpy kind of. Don't want them too runny, because then that just is a mess. And then they aren't gonna bake, because they don't bake long at all. As you can see too, we turned the oven on to 450. We have that heating up. You wanna cook them about 450 for like 8 to 10 minutes. And so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop these babies on a cooking sheet. You don't wanna grease it. Because this, I guess there's just the oil tint that, you know, that is in this it's enough. Like, I mean, with the cheese and everything else, they do not stick to your pan. So do not use like a cooking spray at all, because I've done that and it's a big old mess. So again, like this, we're looking for a doughy-like consistency on these biscuits. So you might want to add a little bit more milk. You're wanting it kind of, see if you can see in there, kind of like a sticky, but you don't want them too dried out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna dab them, get, you know, like a spoonful, and you're gonna put them on an ungreased cookie sheet. And we're gonna be baking these again for about 8 to 10 minutes. I pull them out usually about 8 minutes, and then I'll add the butter, the garlic butter, and you know, maybe put them back in for another minute or two. And so, you know, just so they'll have that good flavor. But again, these are great. So a recipe of this proportion, it usually makes around, say, 6 to 8 biscuits. I mean, it depends on the size. Of course, you know, we're family 5, so usually one's sufficient enough. If you want to go back for more, you can. And again, if you want to double this recipe for a larger crew, do, because it's divine. It's a real, like I said, shoe-in for a Red Lobster biscuit. Go in the oven at about 425 for 8 to 10 minutes. I put them in 8 minutes, and then, like I said, I pull them out. You add a little bit of the garlic butter drizzle. You don't want to put the garlic drizzle butter on top while they're unbaked, because what it'll do is make a gooey, ooey mess. So make sure cook 8 minutes, 425, and then pull out, brush on, back in the oven, or call it, make them done. It's up to you. And you're looking for a golden. So we're gonna wait 8 minutes. Just pull the biscuits out. And so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add this just a little bit. You brush it on, drizzle it on, however you wanna do it. And then we'll put them back in, or you can call them done. I think I'm gonna call these done, as you can see, because the kids got a little bit out of control. The husband got home. Chaos in my kitchen. So yeah, as you can see, look at them. They're just bubbling, piping hot. And this is how they turn out. Really, really good. Another thing I do, just to show you, is like to top them off with a little bit of a decorative parsley flake. So that's up to you. It just kind of, you know, makes it more of a restaurant style biscuit. What you're getting in the basket at the Red Lobster. So anyway, but they make a great biscuit. So again, try this. You know, kind of watch it. You want a golden, you want a fluffy. It'll come out that way. And you know, like I said, I gave you 2 recipes today from my kitchen. Tune in tomorrow, and we will be back and with something new. I have to decide that. Thank you very much. God bless. And please like, subscribe, or share, and I'll continue my venture. Okay, so again, as I promised, I gave you two wonderful recipe options. Again, please like and subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what else you want from my kitchen. Always cooking up something in this kitchen, and with the love and support of you all, you're making me carry this little venture. Again, thanks. God bless.